Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays. Well, it's the wrong save file. Old habits die hard, what can I say? Oh, what can I say? You know what? I'm feeling a Judas run. I want that glass cannon action. Cause you can be a Judas hero. Got stars in his eye. HA8E. Hate Y7Q7. I hate your 7 questions. 7 of 9 from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Anyway, that made effectively no sense here. But if you think about it, didn't it make all the sense in the world? Great dodge. Dude, I gotta be 100% clear and honest with you. I feel like I've been really bad at Isaac ever since we switched save files. And I don't know what it is about this, I think we can do this. What it is about, like, psychologically being on a new save file that's got me so mind flooded I can't perform anymore. But you know, Edmund tells me it happens to lots of guys, so I'm just gonna try to work through it the only way I know how, by playing one episode of Isaac every single day from now until the day that I die. We will still get the Book of Belial charged up for our boss fight, which is, yeah, thankfully we will. Which is actually, like, compulsory. As far as I'm concerned, it's non-negotiable. We might not need it for the boss fight, but there's a good chance we'll want to have it in case we end up going up against, like, the Haunt, for example. Not the kind of guy you want to go up against with 1 HP and no other means of progress here. We will check out our shop quickly, and just want to say thank you for the support on the new save file. I think it's done a little bit to refresh the series, as much as is conceivable. Some people have asked, you know, why not do mods? And I don't have a great answer for that, except that it's a lot of research to get mods that are good. They don't come out all that frequently, although I appreciate all the effort the mod community puts in. And some of them are not transformative enough for my tastes, and some of them are too transformative for my tastes. You know, some of them are like, you know, we've tweaked all the items to make them slightly more in tune with what the balance we feel should be, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And some of them are like, all the tiers are now, you know, cans of Pepsi, and you play as Kendall Jenner, and I go, okay, well, like, at this point, I don't know about that one. Hey, thanks for, the time you've given me, 'cause it's once, twice, 3 times a mushy, damage times 2. That's once, twice, 3 times a lady by... Twice, 3 times. I know who that's by. Once, twice, 3 times a lady? It's like... Maybe I don't know who once, twice, 3 times a lady is by. They should make a sequel to that song. It'd be called Once, Twice, 3 Times a Lady. 4th time, Weird Space Alien. It's like the first 3 times we met, she was very ladylike. After that, that's I realized it wasn't a lady at all. It was a 100-foot monster from the Lochs of Scotland. Something, 3 feet. Look, I was like 10 when that episode first aired. I remember watching it. I don't remember the entire Loch Ness Monster meme. And it's been supplanted at this point by Mankind throwing The Undertaker through off the top of the Hell in the Cell. Or was it vice versa? The Undertaker threw Mankind off of Hell in the Cell? I don't know. There's a lot of wrestling memes, you know? Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? That's an original meme. John Cena's theme was a meme. John Cena meme. Mankind with Hell in the Cell. There's too many wrestling memes to keep up with. At this point, I mean, I watched WWF when I was younger. Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, the 1-2-3 Kid, Yokozuna, etc., etc. Yo, you don't remember etc., etc.? He was a wrestler, but nobody liked him because his matches just went on and on. I'll be here all lifetime making these Isaac episodes. And that's fine by me, you know. There's worse lots in life than playing a game you like once a day until the day that you die. I'll trade a bomb for a key. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We should probably double our bombs because we have 14 of them if we double them, so let's do that, and then makes it a lot easier to justify giving 2 more of these up. I keep looking to see if chat's got any feedback on this episode so far. How do you feel about this episode, chat? Let me know, and in 4 days, I'll respond to your criticism. You know, first we had YouTube, video on demand. Then we had Twitch, live streaming. You know what we're gonna have soon? Thought streaming. It's even faster than live. As soon as you conceive of the commentary, it exits your brain. And you know, this would be a bad thing. I think of a lot of things that I shouldn't say over the course of an Isaac episode, I think. Oh, I will absolutely take that. You know, we try to keep the show free of political events, current events, and stuff like that. We try to keep it... I like to make a show in which I am the most controversial person on the show as well. So I like to kind of be the guy who sets the tone. Oh, that's scary. For that sort of stuff. So I usually... we're going to crack into all this and then maybe teleport out. I want my co-hosts to feel like they can't say absolutely everything, although Robert sometimes broaches that level of trust. And then it makes it all the more surprising when I say it. Basically, I'm stealing the good joke formula for myself. Oh, come on. You know, at this point, we might as well finish the room so we can grab this stuff without having to worry about it anymore. But still, like, trying to keep things not super controversial because I think it colors the quality of the show and also, you know, dates the episodes. I'd rather talk about, like, hey, if you, let's say you wake up in the morning, you don't shower. I'm not asking you a question. I'm saying this in this particular morning, you didn't get a chance to shower. You go to work, you come back, you shower. Do you put the same pair of socks on that you had before? I'm not saying you wore socks overnight and then put them back on in the morning. Lord knows they get crusty and weird. But I oftentimes, you know, I'll put on a pair of socks at 10 a.m. I'll shower at 4 p.m. and just put the same socks back on. I told this to my parents, of all people, once, and they looked at me as if, like, they had no son. I didn't realize that that's strange. Underwear, I mean, I guess I can understand why it's strange, because I would never do it with underwear. As soon as you apply underwear to dirty nether regions, the underwear is dirty. Even if you just wore it for 10 minutes, you know, you're not putting that back on after a shower. It negates the purpose of being clean. For some reason, I feel like feet are different. Everyone goes, probably they listen to that and go, oh, you got gross feet. I actually don't have, I have normal feet. Show them! What is you weirdos? Don't tell me to show them. I'm just noticing, I'm looking on the preview here and I'm like, is Isaac a little framey or is that just me? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. I hope it's not framey. If it's framey, I'm apologetic. We'll sort it out before the next episode. It's new computer problems. At least it's not Mr. Green Man, you know? It seems fine. It's one of those things where I think if I hadn't even mentioned it, people wouldn't have even noticed it. If this computer started to get frame rate issues whenever I got a Skype message, I would be like a little concerned. Anyway, forgot what I was saying earlier. I like to give you little glimpses into the life of Northernlion. Right now, I mean, it's a simple explanation, you know? Or here's a good example is what I mean to say. Woke up today, streamed, went to the grocery store. Haven't showered yet. I'm clean, but I haven't showered yet. You know, it's the middle of summer, but we got AC. The winters are remarkably mild, so it's like, you know, I'm relatively temperature controlled here. I'm gonna shower, and then I'm gonna go out and see a movie later. I'm gonna put on the same socks I got on right now. Every other article of clothing, it's verboten. But the socks, I'm not sure. Because the socks then go into shoes anyway. It's like if they were gonna be dirty, I guess they're supposed to be the layer of protection between the shoes and the foot. That makes sense. And I will say, you ever, like, wear shoes with no socks? You might do it. There's always one person out there who goes like, I do that all the time. It's weird. I don't know how you do it. I guess if you're wearing, like, high heels or something, I understand it. But there's a lot of female fashion I don't understand. I'm trying to think of them at the present moment. Well, I feel for women when it comes to utilitarian fashion. Because, I don't know, a lot of people might not be aware of this depending on, you know, your age and fashion preferences. Women's pants have smaller pockets than men's pants. And there's only a couple of different reasons I could think of for this. One is, they hold less things because they have a purse. Okay, but why make the pockets smaller? Wouldn't you want them to be large regardless, to hold whatever you can have? I'm not talking Jinko jean size, but like normal, men's jean size. And the other possible option is maybe smaller pockets look more feminine when you don't have stuff, but I honestly don't know. I should have gone back for the Emperor card as well. I honestly don't have a good answer to your question, or to my own questions here, is what I mean to say. I wish I did, but I don't. Also, like, women's shoes, it boggles my mind. And this, I wouldn't describe this as current events, but in British Columbia recently, they passed a law that means you can't make high-heeled shoes a part of a dress code for a business anymore. Which means that, if you run a bar or restaurant and part of the appeal was you had, like, waitresses in high heels, now you can't do that anymore. And you're gonna say, who does that? There's a lot of places that do that. I've never seen... Is that a new placebo icon, or am I losing it? I might be losing it. Let's grab this. And when I read it, I was like, I can't believe that wasn't already a thing. I get it, I understand that it seems a little antiquated, but there's the idea that wearing high-heeled shoes, emphasizes the female form. And if you're a restaurant that for whatever reason is selling sex, even though I think that sex and food should remain disparate unless you're into that sort of thing. No kink shaming, but I'm not gonna Costanza this situation, okay? But like, hey, we got a good job for you. The only downside is you have to like irrevocably destroy the architecture of the tendons and bones and muscles within your feet. No big deal though, because we are gonna pay you lower than minimum wage and then have it be subsidized by customers, who will then ask for pictures of your feet in return. Maybe, maybe not. Depends how recently Quentin Tarantino's been there. Anyway. I know, every time I try to come over, the top on an issue like this, people go, well, there's some people who like wearing high heels. More power to you. I'm just saying, to make it part of the dress code is wild. I've worked at offices that have had a pretty strict dress code. Like when I worked at Disney World, they would not let me take off the Gaston uniform. No, this obviously never happened. But I've worked at offices where, like, office attire is required. Not, like a step above business casual, but not necessarily a full-on suit and tie, but like a dress shirt and tie every day. Men's dress clothes are fine, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, could it be more comfortable? Yeah, absolutely. Like, Austin is not a fan of men's dress clothes, and I understand where you're coming from here. You gotta tuck in your shirt, a tie. I don't know, people sometimes, they treat it as if it's a noose. They go, oh, this tie is so constricting. A tie is just loosen it up a little bit so it's not literally choking you. No one will notice, you'll be fine. I don't mind wearing a suit and tie. Dress shoes, they tend to be a little, rigid. Sometimes they can irritate the skin, like around my Achilles tendon. Not a huge problem. It's a small price to pay. But high heels are something altogether different. So I got nothing but respect for ladies out there that have to wear high heels. Because I can't imagine I'd be too pleased if I had to. Plus, you gotta learn how to walk in them. You can't just show up on day one of wearing high heels and then be like walking around like that famous video of the model who falls off the catwalk after her legs turn into competing sine waves. You're supposed to not only walk in them, putting them on is only half the battle. You gotta walk gracefully as well. Otherwise, you look like, two kids stacked on each other's shoulders wearing a trench coat trying to get into a movie theater for, something rated R that they can't see. Not supposed to see. And that's the end of that tangent. I don't have anything more to say about that. I disagree with Austin's notion, though, that there should never be occasions where you have to wear dress clothes, Some decorum is appreciated, I guess. Maybe I'm old school like that, but I don't think so. Most of the chat seem to agree with me. Like, to a funeral, you should wear some, like, nice clothes. Not to be respectful of the person who died, because Lord knows, if I die, first off, almost nobody listening to this is invited to my funeral. Please don't show up. And it might sound mean, but the reasoning is that's for my family. You know, that's an opportunity. Is that a... No, it's not a tinted rock. That's an opportunity for, you know, my friends and close family. Wait, I got that reversed. My family and close friends to mourn. It's about them. It's not about me. You know, you honor the life. You get a slight sense of closure, at least from the casket going into the ground. And then, you know, you get to thinking about how you're going to, you know, live from this point onwards. If you show up wearing a No Fear t-shirt and like a Guy Fieri sun visor or something like that, you've taken some of the attention for you. You've made it less about the occasion and more about like, well, this is just who I am, Mom. Diners, drive-ins, and dies. We need to explore some more. This run is going well, though. I've actually played okay. And take it from me, I've been talking about this in episodes. I usually underdress. I feel bad. I feel self-conscious, which is the other thing. And I know that, you know, should you feel self-conscious? Maybe, maybe not, but I think part of growing up is you start thinking about, oh, well, we got one key back. You start fighting the important battles instead of the unimportant battles. Like an unimportant battle that I've talked about a lot in the Isaac episodes was when I worked at an office and I would take lunch as close to quitting time as possible so that when I came back from lunch I only had like 10 minutes of work and then I got to leave. That's an unimportant battle. What's an important battle? Calling your mom is an important battle, you know? Making sure your friends are okay. That's an important battle. Going to McDonald's and ordering your French fries specifically with no salt so they have to cook up a fresh batch and then you can salt them yourself. First off, let's donate. First off, I resist the notion that it makes for better fries. I think they have to be salted near the time of creation. Otherwise, you know, you might be running the risk of, to some extent, compromising the quality of the fries to begin with by forcing them to cook a fresh batch. Now, I've had like older fries from McDonald's. They clearly didn't just make them right then. I understand the disappointment. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying this in like, it's not the Barack Obama voice, but it is the Barack Obama cadence. Anyway, I think you're robbing yourself with respect to that. But anyway, that's an unimportant battle. I'll tell you straight up. Secret menu hacks at a fast food restaurant, unimportant battle. Leaving a nice review for a local business that you enjoy, important battle. No, this is stupid. Don't do this. Put a bomb here. Put another one. Maybe we can get another arcade on the next floor. Oh, wow. More than an arcade. When I hear that old song they used to play. I have a deli story, by the way. It's a small one, and I want to preface this by saying it's your time and everybody else's time. But you can literally do whatever you want to do at the deli counter. I'm not going to stop you. This is a tough choice, by the way, but I'll err on the side of taking damage for myself and immediately fight a room where I would rather have piercing beams. But anyway, we were at the grocery store today. I'm not going to say which one, but there's a common joke about it being so expensive that you can riff on the name of the grocery store and call it blank paycheck instead. That almost hit me because I'm dumb. But anyway, sure, kidney bean. It's garbage. Deli counter there leaves a little something to be desired. I prefer a little mom and pop delicatessen sort of thing, you know, where they got a couple of freshly made, you know, in-house meats. But either way, you know, I'm not going to 2 grocery stores. I'd rather just overpay at the one grocery store for a little bit of deli meat, get home and play an extra game of Battlegrounds. I digress. Crowded, very busy. I don't know if it was built when they expected Vancouver to only have like, you know, 25 people living in the whole city, but it's tight in there. So we're about to go up to the deli counter and this, you know, middle-aged woman pushes in front of us. She borderline muscles in front of us to the point where like we're ahead of her, but she's like sidling in. You know, she's trying to like angle her shoulders so she has a little bit of leverage. So we're like, we're fine. Okay, we did the hand wave, so you go ahead. She goes up to the front and they go, oh, excuse me, can I help you, ma'am? And she says, which kind of salami would you recommend? And I just looked at my wife and she looked at me and she was like, don't do it. And I didn't do it because I'm a pussy. But in my head, I was like, you muscle in front of us? You're in such a hurry? Then you go up and go, which kind of salami would you recommend? Like, you don't even know what you want yet. And then the poor lady who worked there was just like, I don't know. What do you think when I got this job at the deli, they were like, hey, sample all the salami so you can give recommendations to people? Anyway, they talked it over for like 45 seconds, and then the lady was like, or the worker was like, do you want a sample? Not that she's not a lady as well, but, she's a worker in the context of this. Because I'm a capitalist. But anyway, I'm shopping at Whole Foods. Of course I'm a capitalist. Okay, the point is, she goes, do you want samples? So the lady puts a big old slab of salami up there, slices one slice, cleans it off, puts up the other slab of salami, slices one slice, gives her 2 slices. I kid you not, she ate those 2 slices of salami and then went, I'll just take the honey ham. I thought I was gonna lose my freaking mind. Here's me at the deli counter when I go up. Hey, sir, can I help you? Yeah, can I get 300 grams of the roast beef there? And they go, yeah, sure. And then no matter what question they ask me, I'm pro-worker. Sometimes they go, you want that sliced thinly or thickly? I'm like, whatever setting the machine is already on works for me. And they give me a little look, and they're like, this guy's on the level. And I'm like, I'm on the level. I'm not saying you should be out of your rights to ask for a sample at the deli counter. But I think once you get a sample of something, I'm not saying you have to buy it, but come on. Like, sometimes we go to, there's all these, like, craft breweries in the rough vicinity of our area in Vancouver. And sometimes we'll go there and they'll have something new. And we'll be like, hey, can we get a sample of that? They give you a sample of it. As far as I'm concerned, I've purchased the good at that point. Do we know what was in here? There's a little brim, right? Half price little brim? Yeah, well, yeah, half price little brim. This is a good opportunity to do boss rush. Oh, it's a great opportunity to do boss rush. And we get to see the little charge bar, too. Charge bars for our days and our nights. Charging bars for the runs that are nice. And I think I want bars to charge for me. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel, I've done it before, but I feel a sense of guilt if I take a sample of something and then get something completely unrelated. Like, can I get a sample of the, Hungarian blood sausage? And then they give you that and you're like, I'll just take the honey ham. Actually, I'll take whatever's cheapest now. Like, can I get a slice of each of your kind of prosciuttos as a sample? Yes, I'll take the macaroni loaf, actually. You popped up right on top of me. Disrespectful. I feel like there's an unspoken contract that, if you get a sample of something, that means you have an intention to not purchase it, but possibly consider purchase. You're in the market. It's like going into, like, a Mercedes dealership when you got a Honda budget. And you're like, can I just take a test drive of that, E-Class Mercedes? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Certainly Daimler Chrysler's making enough money that, I think anyway, that they're not going to be hurting as a result of your test drive. But you're violating the social contract of that dealership. In my opinion, at least. Not to mention, and I get blasted for being pro-corporate all the time. But there are human beings that work at that dealership. You're wasting their time. They work on commission. You're taking away time that they could be spending talking to a paying customer and feeding their family. They might not be driving a Daimler Chrysler Mercedes E-Class, C-Class. I don't know any Mercedes. I don't know the names of any Mercedes. I just know the sound they make when they cut in front of me in traffic without using the freaking signal lights, but I digress. We could die. The run's good enough that we shouldn't die, but that doesn't mean we won't. But I don't think we will. What? Oh, we killed all the first floor bosses. Duke of Flies was the last first floor boss. Who would have thought? Well, the game sucks for Robert now, because we unlocked his least favorite floor, the cellar. Would you like to unlock the cellar? Oh, oh, oh. Harder version of the intro floor. You'll fight the Hans, hope he's no champion. Sound a cellar door, I come undone. That was not a great note at the end. That was my deli story. I don't have any other stories. Well, there was a kid, there was like a 1-year-old at the Whole Foods. There was a bunch of popcorn on the ground and he just started eating it. And like, I wasn't gonna stop him. His mom was on her cell phone, which I don't mean like, I didn't say that with a tone like his mom was on her cell phone. You know, maybe she's got a message from her dad who's in the hospital or something, you know, I'll accept it. But I was not gonna be like, hey, lady, your kid's eating popcorn off the ground. I just sort of looked at him. And then when his mom saw, she was like, hey, don't do that. It was in a different language, but I'm assuming she said don't do that because he stopped. Maybe she said, you know, save some for me. I don't know. But then she looked at me like I'm supposed to, oh, I don't know what the look meant. But in my head, because I'm accusatory and have anxiety, I thought that she was looking at me to say like, you know, why didn't you stop my son from eating popcorn off the ground? I didn't want to tell her, but the real reason is because, you know, we know that we're hurtling towards some kind of either automation, AI, or environmental focused apocalypse, right? So if Kate and I ever choose to have children, her son eating popcorn off the ground might lead to a situation in which our child has a competitive advantage in the future. I'm not suggesting he's gonna get sick and die, just that his like potential employer might have been watching and he's gonna be like, weren't you that kid eating popcorn off the ground 22 years ago? You don't get to be part of my Cormac McCarthy the Raid style roving band of mercenaries. I'm taking this kid instead with the pop culture references who just did the parody of the Undone the Sweater song. It sounds like he'd be good for morale in the apocalypse. Hey, does this taste funny to you? You can't see, but in my version of this joke, we're eating a clown or a stand-up comedian, preferably Dane Cook. Get it? Because would you like to consume Dane Cook? Oh, 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 does this Dane taste funny to you? Anyway, it was a fun trip to the grocery store. That's about it. There's nothing else. Not that I can think of, at least. No parking lot shenanigans. I've been encountering this. I don't know if this is a common thing necessarily. I've small talked. I'm a good small talker. It might surprise you. I don't like to small talk. It's not my favorite thing to do in the world, but I don't mind to small talk. But I don't like small talk with cashiers at a grocery store for one very specific reason. Oftentimes, I grocery shop for my wife and myself. So I'm buying things that we both want, which is great for me because it means I can guilt-free buy snacks I probably shouldn't be eating because she's not there to stop me. And it's a perfect time for me to exercise what little autonomy I have. And I actually appreciate that because living with restrictions I think is important. Otherwise, you know, I'd be, 10 for $13, I gotta get 10 family-sized bags of Doritos. You know, it's nice to have some level of societal guilt to kind of hold you in place there, I think. Anyway, the point is, nothing there. Child's Heart was okay because we were kind of using that to boost up Dark Bum here, but so what ends up happening is Kate drinks these like what are effectively meal replacement drinks for breakfast sometimes because they're convenient and not horrible, although I'm like, have you ever had a breakfast sandwich? Because this is like 1/80th as good as a breakfast sandwich, but I understand they are convenient. So she'll get like these drinks called Rumble or Soylent, which is another meal replacement drink, and without fail, I would say like 75% of the time, the cashier at the grocery store will go, oh, are these good? And then I have to face an internal quandary that should illustrate to you what goes on in my brain on a regular basis. I have to say, I don't know, my wife drinks them. Which is a bad conversational thread to leave it on, because there's no way for them to respond easily. That's like, I think that's the trick to conversation, is you always want to, you know, people dangle something to you, and then you take it, and you respond, and you dangle something back that gives them, like, an easy thing to catch on to so they can respond. Like when you say, hey, what's up? And they go, oh, not too much, how are you? You go, I'm doing pretty good, but how about this weather we're having? And they go, oh, I know, right? We were going camping this weekend, but I don't think we can do it anymore. And you go, oh, camping? That's really cool. Where are you guys going? And now you're off on a flow. You got no problem. So I'm committing the cardinal conversational sin of replying to their question with just a no. It's like anti-improv. You know, you're supposed to do yes and, but instead we're doing... Actually, I'm married. And you were coming on to me. It's accusatory, right? Or, I have to lie and act like oh, I didn't mean to do that, but I feel a compulsion to lie and be, just to keep the conversation going better. And be like, oh yeah, no, they're really good. Like, I like the Dutch cocoa ones better than the vanilla ones, even though the vanilla ones have real maple. Because that's like, you know, then they go, ooh, real maple. And I'm like, yeah, can you believe it? Well, I mean, at that point, I'm probably checked out because I'm, you know, I'm not getting paid to hang out at the grocery store, unlike the other party in the conversation. But anyway. Like, 90% of people listening to this are going to go, NL, you're so weird. 8% of people are going to be like, you're my spirit animal. What about the other 2%? They're going to say you're so weird without realizing that they're also that person as well. You got to build in a little error there. I'm going to reroll the whole run, of course. You got fungi. It's a weird one, but our damage is still great, so I ain't sweating it at all. We no longer have Dark Bum, which obviously, like, it would be for the best if we did, but... We have Host Hat for explosion immunity as well, which is very useful because a lot of our shots are exploding. So, do we have is this the end? I can't remember. One day we'll get past this being the end. It's gonna take us like 10 episodes, I guess, but... Oh, they have been giving me so many free outs lately. I'm a moron. I went back for the black heart. Well, here's what we'll do. That was actually an accident. I hope that that's abundantly clear. We'll find the secret rooms. That could give us a way out. We'll look for self-sacrifice rooms. That could give us a way out, although a dangerous one. A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. And, on top of that, we might be able to find a red chest that just takes us back to the devil room, and that would function appropriately as well. But I really should have just gone down. It's one of those situations where, like, you would only care about that if you had recently gotten a new save file. Because if you hadn't, you'd be like, well, I can just go down there anyway. But sadly, obviously, things are different now. And it's good, you know, keeps us on our toes. He's barking. He's barking. Let's go. I think it's our first crawl space in the new save. What do we got here? I'm drowsy is not bad. Did we get anything for a max level Bumbo? I do not recall. Well, our final step here is gonna be, it would have been nice actually if that was just an exit, but now that I think about it, I don't think you can just get exits like that. I think they have to be crawl spaces. It's not just like using an AWAS rune. So we're looking for Secret Room, which we can find thanks to Dogtooth. But otherwise, I've cost us a floor, which is really... don't think of it as being cost a floor. Think of it as gaining a whole run. Because now I have to go back and do a run that goes to Shoal as Judas. That I may or may not have had to do prior to this. Trinkets don't matter. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was waiting for it. Come on. I think that's not a secret room. So I'm gonna do this. The goal is really just to get, like, if we can get the dollar bill, that would be really nice so I never have to worry about it again. Plus, then we got more to gamble with on these guys, I guess, but... Come on, come on. Just $1. With Skatole, also, I never get, so if you just give me a dollar bill, I'll be a very happy camper. Yeah, go for it, Bumbo. See if I care. Dang it. Another 48-hour energy. Let's just blow these guys up. I think we're out, but, you know, I tried. Genuinely, I tried to say goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away, but I stumble. Macy Gray sort of sounds like that, right? We got the wire coat hanger. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, click the like button. Remember, be nice to the people at your local deli. And, of course, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Thanks for your support.